There comes a moment in every person's life when everything can change, not because the world suddenly becomes easier, not because opportunities magically appear, and not because luck finally decides to show up, but because something shifts inside. It's a quiet shift, almost invisible at first, yet it holds the power to redefine your entire future. That moment arrives when you stop pointing outward and start looking inward, when you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What can I do about it?" This is the moment your life begins to transform, the moment you take full responsibility. Most people spend their lives waiting for motivation to strike like lightning, waiting for the perfect opportunity to knock on their door, waiting for someone else to believe in them before they believe in themselves, waiting for circumstances to improve, waiting for the right time. But the truth is, the right time is a myth that keeps people stuck. It's a comforting illusion that allows you to delay action while convincing yourself that someday everything will align perfectly. That day rarely comes. Life is unpredictable, messy, and often unfair. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you will be waiting forever. Taking responsibility means letting go of that waiting mindset. It means understanding that your life is not on hold until conditions improve. It is happening right now, shaped by the choices you make in this very moment. It means accepting that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you always control how you respond. And in that response lies your power. Blaming circumstances is easy. It's easy to say that your past is the reason you are where you are. It's easy to point to other people and say they held you back. It's easy to say you didn't have the same opportunities as others. These statements may even be true. Life is not equally fair to everyone. Some people start ahead, some start behind, and some face obstacles that others will never understand. But here is the truth that changes everything. No matter where you start, blaming will never move you forward. Blame is a trap. It feels justified, it feels comforting, but it keeps you stuck exactly where you are. The moment you blame something or someone else, you give away your power. You are essentially saying, "My life is controlled by things outside of me." And if that's true, then there is nothing you can do to change it. That belief is paralyzing. But when you take responsibility, something incredible happens. You take that power back. You begin to see that even in the worst situations, there is always a choice. Maybe you can't change what happened, but you can decide what it means. Maybe you can't control the obstacle, but you can control how you face it. Responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means everything is your responsibility to respond to. When you truly embrace this, your failures stop being something to hide from. They stop being excuses. Instead, they become lessons. Every mistake you've made, every setback you've experienced, every time things didn't go your way, these are not signs that you should give up. They are feedback. They are teaching you something, shaping you, preparing you. But you only gain that value if you take responsibility for learning from them. Think about it. If you fail and blame someone else, you learn nothing. You stay the same. But if you fail and ask yourself, "What could I have done better? What can I learn from this?" then that failure becomes a stepping stone. It becomes part of your growth. The same event, two completely different outcomes, all depending on whether you take responsibility or not. Your struggles begin to change in the same way. Instead of seeing them as limitations, you start to see them as opportunities to become stronger. Struggles are not there to break you, they are there to build you, but only if you face them with ownership. When you stop saying, "This is too hard," and start saying, "This is making me stronger," your mindset shifts. You begin to develop resilience, the kind of strength that cannot be taken away because it is built from within. Taking responsibility also changes how you see your future. Instead of something uncertain that you hope turns out well, your future becomes something you actively create. It stops being a matter of luck and starts being a result of your actions. You begin to realize that every decision you make, every habit you build, every effort you put in is shaping what comes next. This is where true freedom lies, not in having no problems, not in having everything go your way, but in knowing that you have the power to influence your direction, that your life is not just happening to you, but being shaped by you. Of course, this is not easy. In fact, it is one of the hardest things you will ever do. Taking responsibility requires honesty, and honesty can be uncomfortable. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, your mistakes, your fears. It removes the comfort of excuses and replaces it with accountability. And accountability demands action. There will be moments when you will want to fall back into old patterns, to blame, to complain, to wait. It's natural. Change is uncomfortable, and your mind will try to protect you from that discomfort. But growth only happens outside of that comfort zone. Every time you choose responsibility over excuses, you strengthen that mindset. You build a habit of ownership. Over time, this habit transforms you. You become more disciplined, more focused, more resilient. You stop being easily discouraged because you understand that setbacks are part of the process. You stop comparing yourself to others because you are focused on your own journey. You stop waiting for validation because you trust your own efforts. And perhaps most importantly, you start to believe in yourself. Not because everything is going perfectly, but because you know that no matter what happens, you will handle it. You will adapt. You will learn. You will keep moving forward. This is the real power of taking responsibility. It's not just about achieving success or reaching goals, although those things often follow. It's about becoming someone who is in control of their life, someone who doesn't give up when things get hard, someone who creates opportunities instead of waiting for them. Your life begins to change in ways you never expected. You start making better decisions because you understand their impact. You start building habits that support your growth. You surround yourself with people who uplift you instead of those who reinforce excuses. You develop a mindset that is focused on solutions instead of problems. And all of this starts with a simple but powerful decision to take responsibility. It doesn't require a perfect plan. It doesn't require immediate results. It only requires a shift in how you think and act. A decision to stop blaming and start owning. A decision to stop waiting and start doing. Right now, wherever you are in your life, this moment can be your turning point. Not because something external has changed, but because you decide to change. Because you decide that from this point forward, you will take responsibility for your actions, your mindset, your growth. It won't be perfect. You will make mistakes. You will have days where you struggle, but that's part of the journey. What matters is that you keep choosing responsibility again and again until it becomes who you are. Because the moment you truly accept that you are responsible for your life, you also accept something incredibly powerful, that you are in control. And once you understand that, everything changes. There is a quiet force shaping your life every single day, and most people overlook it because it doesn't feel dramatic, it doesn't make noise, and it doesn't deliver instant results. It's not a sudden breakthrough or a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's something far more subtle and far more powerful. It's the small choices you make daily, the habits you repeat without thinking, the actions that seem too insignificant to matter in the moment. Yet over time, these tiny decisions accumulate, layer upon layer, until they create the reality you live in. Life doesn't change overnight. That idea is appealing because it promises immediate transformation, but it rarely reflects how real progress works. Real change is gradual. It's built through repetition, through consistency, through showing up even when you don't feel like it. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is not one giant leap, but thousands of small steps taken consistently over time. Think about what happens when you dedicate just 1 extra hour each day to learning. At first, it may not feel like much. 1 hour can pass quickly, and you might wonder if it's even making a difference. But after a week, that's 7 hours of focused growth. After a month, that's around 30 hours. After a year, that becomes hundreds of hours invested in developing your skills, your knowledge, your understanding. Over time, that consistent effort separates you from those who only act when they feel motivated. It builds expertise, not through bursts of effort, but through steady commitment. The same principle applies to your physical health. One healthy choice doesn't transform your body instantly. Choosing a nutritious meal, going for a short walk, or doing a quick workout might feel small, almost insignificant. But those choices don't exist in isolation. They stack. They reinforce each other. Over weeks and months, they create momentum. Your body responds not to what you do once, but to what you do consistently. A series of small positive decisions gradually becomes a lifestyle, and that lifestyle shapes your health. Even your mindset follows this pattern. A single positive thought won't instantly change your perspective, especially if you've spent years thinking in a different way. But each time you challenge a negative belief, each time you choose to focus on solutions instead of problems, each time you remind yourself of your potential, you are making a small adjustment. Over time, those adjustments reshape how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you respond to challenges. The reason most people underestimate small actions is because they are focused on immediate results. They expect to see progress right away, and when they don't, they assume their efforts aren't working. This is where many give up. They don't realize that progress is often invisible in the beginning. It's happening beneath the surface, quietly building, waiting for the moment when it becomes noticeable. Imagine planting a seed. You water it daily, take care of it, and for a while nothing seems to happen. There is no visible growth, no sign that your effort is making a difference. It would be easy to stop, to assume it's pointless. But beneath the soil, something is happening. Roots are forming, foundations are being built, and eventually, that hidden progress breaks through the surface. The same is true for your habits. The results may not be immediate, but they are inevitable if you remain consistent. Consistency is what turns small actions into powerful results. It's the bridge between effort and achievement. Anyone can take action once. Anyone can feel motivated for a short period of time. But the ability to keep going, to repeat the same positive behaviors day after day, especially when you don't feel like it, is what creates real change. This is where discipline becomes more important than motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes, influenced by how you feel, by your environment, by external factors. But discipline is a choice. It's the decision to act regardless of how you feel. When you rely only on motivation, your actions become inconsistent. When you build discipline, your actions become reliable, and reliability leads to results. Your daily habits are quietly shaping your future, whether you are aware of it or not. Every day you are either moving closer to your goals or further away from them. There is no neutral. The small decisions you make, how you spend your time, what you focus on, how you respond to challenges, these are all adding up. They are creating patterns, and those patterns become your life. If you spend your days procrastinating, avoiding effort, and choosing comfort over growth, those habits will accumulate just as powerfully as positive ones. Over time, they will lead to missed opportunities, unfulfilled potential, and regret. On the other hand, if you choose to take small steps forward each day, even when they feel insignificant, those steps will lead to progress, growth, and achievement. The challenge is that the results of your habits are delayed. You don't see the full impact of your actions immediately, which makes it easy to underestimate their importance. But time amplifies everything. Good habits become incredibly powerful over time, and bad habits become incredibly limiting. The difference between success and failure is often not a single decision, but a series of small decisions repeated consistently. This is why patience is so important. You have to trust the process even when you can't see the results yet. You have to understand that every small action is contributing to something bigger. It's not about perfection. You will have days where you slip, where you don't follow through, where you feel like you're not making progress. That's normal. What matters is that you return to your habits, that you keep going, that you don't let one bad day turn into a pattern. Over time, these small actions begin to compound. Compounding is a powerful concept because it shows how growth accelerates. In the beginning, progress is slow and almost unnoticeable. But as you continue, the results start to build on each other. Your knowledge expands, your skills improve, your confidence grows. What once felt difficult becomes easier. What once required effort becomes automatic. This is how greatness is built. Not through one extraordinary moment, but through ordinary actions performed consistently over time. The people you admire, the ones who have achieved remarkable things, did not get there overnight. They built their success through daily habits, through persistence, through showing up again and again. It's important to realize that you don't need to make massive changes all at once. In fact, trying to do too much too quickly often leads to burnout. The key is to start small. Focus on one habit, one action, one improvement. Make it manageable, make it sustainable. Once it becomes part of your routine, build on it. Add another small habit, another positive action. Over time, these small changes will accumulate into significant transformation. You also have to be intentional about your actions. It's not just about being busy, it's about doing things that align with your goals. Small actions are only powerful when they are directed towards something meaningful. You have to know what you're working toward, what you want to achieve, and then take consistent steps in that direction. As you continue this process, something else begins to change. You start to see yourself differently. You begin to identify as someone who takes action, someone who follows through, someone who is committed to growth. This shift in identity is powerful because it reinforces your habits. You don't just do positive actions, you become the kind of person who does them. Eventually, the results that once felt distant start to become your reality. The knowledge you've gained opens new opportunities. The healthy choices you've made improve your energy and well-being. The mindset you've developed helps you navigate challenges with confidence. And all of this comes from the accumulation of small, consistent actions. Your destiny is not determined by a single moment. It is shaped by what you do every day. The habits you build, the choices you make, the actions you repeat, these are the forces that create your future. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly building something. The question is, what are you building? If you start today, if you commit to taking small positive actions consistently, you may not see immediate change. But give it time, stay consistent, trust the process. Because those small actions repeated day after day will quietly transform your life in ways you can't even imagine yet. And one day you will look back and realize that what once felt small was actually the foundation of everything you have become.